What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Seat Radio. My name is Corbin, and honestly, it really only was a matter of time before really everyone on this team got their moment in the spotlight for being a trade candidate for the Red Sox. Mostly because of the way this offseason has gone, everyone has shifted their focus almost entirely to possible Red Sox trades, and the latest rumor surrounding the Red Sox and trades is Chris Sale being on the trading block. The latest rumors that teams have been asking if Chris Sale is available for trade, and honestly, the Red Sox response was a little bit foggy. They mentioned how they think that their starting pitching is an area of depth right now, but they never gave a yes or no answer as to whether or not they would trade Chris Sale. So what we're going to do today is we are going to talk about both possibilities. We're going to talk about reasons why the Red Sox should trade Chris Sale, and we're going to talk about reasons why maybe the Red Sox shouldn't trade Chris Sale just yet. And what we're going to do is we're going to try and figure out whether or not the Red Sox should trade Chris Sale and come to some conclusion as to what we want the Red Sox to do. But before we get into that, do me a favor, make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. It helps these videos out a ton, and it would mean a lot to me. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one. Let's get into it. Okay, let's start this video off by talking about some reasons why the Red Sox may want to trade Chris Sale, and then we'll get into why they shouldn't. But the first reason why the Red Sox may want to trade Chris Sale is a pretty obvious one, right? And that is the Red Sox have no idea whether or not he can even pitch a full season anymore. Since 2019, Chris Sale has only appeared in 36 regular season games for the Boston Red Sox, and of those 36 regular season games, 25 of them came in 2019. Basically, since 2020, Chris Sale has only pitched in 11 regular season games for this Red Sox team, and as a Red Sox ownership group or management group, there could be a decent part of them that are worried about the fact that they may never get a full season out of Chris Sale again, and that may be a reason why he could end up on a trading block. Now, the second reason why the Red Sox may want to look at trading Chris Sale is because they don't really know what they're going to get from Chris Sale. Health aside, and him being able to stay on the field for a full season completely aside, like we just said, he's pitched in 36 games in the last 3 seasons, right? That's not a lot of games, so the Red Sox don't really know what he's going to be like this year if he is fully healthy. Chris Sale is getting a little bit older. He's going into his year 33 season. He's going to be turning 34 at some point this year, right? Which is actually kind of surprising. I honestly thought Chris Sale was going to be at least 35. I didn't realize he was still in his early mid 30s as opposed to his later mid 30s. But anyways, right, as he gets older, there's definitely at least a portion of this Red Sox organization that firmly believes that Chris Sale's best days are behind him, and that could be another reason why the Red Sox may look at trading Chris Sale this off season. Now, the last reason I could come up with, at least big reason why, there are some little reasons, but we're going to focus on the big reasons why Chris Sale may be on the trading block. The last one I could come up with is there may be some legitimate value with Chris Sale in terms of his longevity, right? Chris Sale, if you're a team that can afford his current salary, he is a longer term solution to a possible top line of the rotation type guy. He's a guy that could come in and have a lot of upside and be that ace caliber pitcher that a team is missing, and he's not a free agent until 2025, giving you 2 years of firm control over Chris Sale and being a guy who you can use in a window of opportunity for a team that is either making a push to the playoffs, making a push to win a division, or making a push to win a World Series. All three of those situations, if Chris Sale does have a healthy season, could be a legitimate reason why teams look at Chris Sale. But again, those are the 3 big reasons I could come up with why the Red Sox may look at trading Chris Sale. So let's take a look at some reasons why the Red Sox may not want to trade Chris Sale. All right, so again, let's talk about the reasons why the Red Sox may not want to trade Chris Sale just yet. And the biggest, most glaring reason to me is his current value right now. Now, MLB trade values isn't exactly the most accurate trade value thing in the entire world when it comes to the true value of a player in a trade, but it's a really good place to start. And right now, MLB trade values has Chris Sale at a -13. That's literally less than 0 when it comes to trade values. So if the Red Sox wanted to legitimately get a decent package back for Chris Sale, they're probably looking at least having to take on some, if not most, of Chris Sale's contract. Even with taking on most of his contract, you're still not getting the haul that you would want to get back from a guy who has a ton of upside. You're probably looking at trading trading Chris Sale for some mid-level prospects. You're not looking at getting an elite package for him, either MLB ready or prospect wise, and that could be a reason why the Red Sox simply don't trade Chris Sale, because they simply don't think that they are going to be able to get a decent package in return. Now, the second reason why Chris Sale may not be on the chopping block is because there is a lot of upside to Chris Sale. We've kind of been mentioning it throughout this entire video so far, but in actuality, looking at Chris Sale's numbers when he is healthy, he was one of the best pitchers in baseball over the last decade. He has a ton of awards. He's come in second for Cy Young a couple of times. He has some all-time records when it comes to strikeout per nines and stuff like that. So if he can be healthy for this Red Sox team in 2023 in a rotation that does have a lot of question marks right now, right? Is Paxton going to be healthy? Will Whitlock actually be able to morph into a starting pitcher? Is Bayo going to continue to improve, or are we going to see some regression in Brian Bayo, right? There are a lot of question marks in this Red Sox rotation, and if Chris Sale can be healthy, he can be a huge boost to a rotation that has a lot of question marks. Obviously, he himself has a lot of question marks in regards to his health and his ability to still perform at that level, but if he can, there is a lot of upside to keeping Chris Sale that may keep him off the chopping block for now. Finally, I think that in terms of why the Red Sox may not want to trade Chris Sale right now is because they may need him. And I'm not just talking about on the mound and his production on the mound. I'm talking about in the clubhouse as well. This offseason, you saw the 3 unofficial leaders of this Red Sox team, all of them, move on from this Red Sox team. And it really is starting to feel like an entirely new era for Red Sox baseball. Not to mention the fact that the one true leader that we want to step up and become a leader of this Red Sox team is in the midst of a battle about an extension and could not even end up on this Red Sox team at the end of 2023, if not sooner, in Rafael Devers. The Red Sox have a huge gap in this clubhouse for a true, genuine veteran leadership, and someone needs to step up into that role. Chris Sale is the perfect guy for that. Chris Sale does have his downsides. He's a little bit angry, he's a little bit loud, but he's so passionate about the game of baseball, and he has this fire within him that could be great for this Red Sox clubhouse in a time where there isn't a ton of that going on right now. A lot of these guys are either new to the team, new to baseball, or are quiet, silent leaders like Rafael Devers has been in the past. Chris Sale could be an outspoken, true leader of this Red Sox team. He's also a great guy to talk to some of these younger players. We just talked about the question marks in this rotation. Who better to talk to Brian Bayo about sliders, about approaches to certain pitches, about approaches to certain situations in games than Chris Sale, a guy who was one of the best pitchers in the 2010. Who's a better guy to talk to Garrett Whitlock about overcoming injuries and coming back and being able to be a productive pitcher in Major League Baseball? Chris Sale is perfect for that. So in my opinion, one of the reasons why the Red Sox shouldn't trade Chris Sale is because he's one of the last few remaining outspoken leaders on this Red Sox team and in this Red Sox clubhouse. And that kind of wraps up some of the reasons why I think the Red Sox should maybe hold on to Chris Sale right now. If you want my opinion on this whole thing as to whether or not the Red Sox should or shouldn't trade Chris Sale, I don't think they should. I think Sale is going to come into 2023 if he can remain healthy with vengeance on his mind and a full comeback tour in his midst. I truly think that if Chris Sale can be healthy for 2023, he's going to prove a lot of people wrong and be one of the better pitchers in at least the AL East, if not the AL in general. This isn't saying he's going to win the Cy Young. This isn't saying that he's going to be the #1 pitcher in baseball. I think his innings limit is going to limit a lot of that ability, but I do think if he's healthy, he's going to be a really good addition for this Red Sox team. I also think as of right now, the value in keeping Chris Sale is much greater than the value of trading him. Like we said, he does have a ton of injury history. He has a lot of question marks surrounding him, and what the Red Sox could get back in terms of a trade package, if they are not willing to take on a lot of his contract, is not going to be that great in return. And I think it's just much more useful to take a chance and see if Chris Sale can be what we know Chris Sale can be in 2023. But I think at the end of the day, what this truly comes down to for the Red Sox is taking a look at the risk of keeping Chris Sale. Whether or not they think Chris Sale can have a healthy season is extremely important to this equation, and whether or not they believe that the risk of keeping Chris Sale is less than the risk of trading him away is going to ultimately be the deciding factor here. I really don't think the Red Sox are going to trade Chris Sale before the season season starts. If they do end up trading him, I think it's going to be around the trade deadline, mostly because I think a lot of teams are going to want to see if Chris Sale can be healthy for that amount of time. And finally, please do not include Devers in the talks of Chris Sale's trade if the Red Sox truly get to that point where they do have to trade Rafael Devers, which a lot of people right now are assuming that they will. The problem with attaching Chris Sale is the same problem we saw with Mookie. You could have gotten so much more for Mookie Betts, but you decided to lop on David Price's contract to really minimize the cost for your team in terms of dollars, and you ended up with a prospect haul that really did not work out. The Sox simply cannot do the same thing with Rafael Devers and get another package that isn't going to live up to what Rafael Devers is truly worth. It just ends up being a cycle of mediocrity that the Red Sox simply need to break. I could be totally wrong. Let me know in the comment section down below. After listening to the pros, after listening to the cons, what would you do with Chris Sale? Would you trade him or would you keep him? Let me know all your thoughts on the Chris Sale situation down below. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor, make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Like I said at the beginning, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Plus, you made it to the end here, you might as well hit that sub button. You also might as well hit that like button as well. It helps these videos out a ton and it would mean a lot to me. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you in the red seat.